Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video because we are talking about some new ammo that just came out. You guys who watch the show know I'm always happy and excited to get in new ammo, new stuff to the market that we can test out. I can show you, is it any count or not? So, let's get right to it. What in the world is it? Well, a bunch of y'all are gonna say, I have no clue. A bunch of y'all are gonna take a guess. And a bunch of those guesses would be wrong. What this is some brand new, this is Remington's Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun. Now I've taken a bunch of deer with the Remington Core-Lokt, taken a bunch of deer with Remington Core-Lokt Tipped. Now they have the Core-Lokt Tipped for lever guns. They just came out with it in the 360 buckhammer first, but they're also going to have it, they said on their website, in 30-30, 32 Winchester, 444 MArlin, 35 Remington. Yes, we're going to have more options for 35 Remington, and then also 45-70. So that's today's video. We're going to be testing out this brand new ammo loading, the Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun in 360 buckhammer. Now real quick, before we head out to the range, let me show you my 360 buckhammer. I got to do a few things to it. So this is my Henry Model X in 360 buckhammer. I originally had the one with the wood stock, grouped great. I took a deer with it. If you haven't seen that video where I took a deer, definitely check it out. It's a good deer catching video with some lever gun action. All I've done to this one is I put this rail on it, pick rail on top. I traded my wood stock one for the Model X specifically because I wanted to have a threaded barrel. This is my brand new Banish 46 V2. They just came out with a version 2 version of their 46 caliber can, and it's pretty sweet. I've already tested some stuff through this with this can on it, but the whole point of today's video is going to do some ammo testing of the new Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun because of that. Now I could just go out there to the range and, you know, use the iron sights. This Henry Model X comes with fiber optic red rears and green front, which is fantastic. Probably be just fine for deer hunting, but when I'm doing ammo testing, I want to give the thing the benefit of the doubt, make exactly sure that every time I break that trigger, I'm breaking the trigger where I'm holding the exact same spot. So we're actually testing the ammo from a rest. We're not just testing my abilities. So I got to slap a scope on it. I'm going to put this one on there. You watch the show, you know I'm a fan of Zerotech. We actually get big discounts on these. Zerotech gives us, me and you, 20% off if you use the link in the code for those. But this one is a Thrive HD, good glass. I picked this one because it has a low power. So on a lever gun, if a deer pops up, if I'm up in the tree and the deer is at 10 yards, I still have a low power in that 2.5 to crank way down. But say we take a 200 yard fling, we still have those zoomies to know exactly where I'm holding when I break that trigger. Also, for purposes of testing the ammo, I'm gonna crank it all the way up and make sure that I'm breaking the trigger at the same spot every time. But I know y'all lever gun guys love your iron sights. More power to you, but like I said, for the purpose of ammo testing and catching deer, this is what I'm gonna put on there. I think the rings I grabbed from my stash are gonna be tall enough, we're about to see, but these are some Arkans I grabbed, 30mm tube. Yeah, let me slap all this on there. I'll give you a quick look at it, and then we'll go out to the range. This got super clear glass. It also has parallax adjustment all the way down to 10 yards or so. It's got the infinity all the way down to 10. So good for close range on a lever gun. Let's see how it looks on this thing. All right, so real quick before we go out to the range and get this thing sighted in with the scope on it, let me give you a look. What do you think? You like it, you not like it. I know a lot of people on lever action you gotta use the irons. And even me, myself, I've put LPVOs, the low power variable optics. They're smaller, sit a little higher. Those work too. I had a LPVO on my 4570, but like I said, I want to do some precision stuff and really test out this Henry and also test out this tipped lever gun stuff and give it the benefit of the doubt. And woo, that's good glass too. I'm definitely probably going to put this one on the we need to take a deer with it this year list. But let's head out to the range, get this thing sighted in, and then do some groups with it. See what happens. I like it. Sweet. And real close again. Let me show you the height. So I could have gone slightly lower with the rings, but I wanted to leave that rear sight on there. I take sights and stuff off of stuff, it goes in a drawer and I lose it forever. If I ever want to take this back to irons, it's still there and it's not crazy high. I like it. I think it'll work just good. Let's go see how it works. All right, so if you've seen my show, you've seen me do this. Well, it depends on how long you've been watching my show, but when I put a new scope on something, I always sight in at 10 yards. And I want my impact to be roughly 2 inches lower than where I'm aiming at 10 yards. And that's basically lining up the impact from the barrel and my scope. So let's go ahead and load one. There's one of those Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun rounds. I'm still getting used to that, used to saying that because it's a brand new thing. Shusher's on there good. Let's pull the hammer back and see where we're at here at just 10 yards. Man, I can't get over that glass. That's good glass. See where we're at here. From the kneeling, I should be okay. I'm gonna hold just dead center. All right, so we got pretty lucky. I held bullseye and my hit there from here looks like I'm slightly to the left, but roughly 2 inches low, just like I wanted. So now that I'm on paper, roughly where I should be at 10 yards, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out to 100. We'll get this thing dialed in, and then we'll take our time and get some groups done and see how my Henry Model X and 360 buck hammer likes this new Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun stuff. But we lucked out on that one, didn't we? Sometimes we got a fiddle more than that, but I'm taking that. Let's go to the 100. All right, now 100-yard target. This thing, when we got it in at 10 yards, that can makes 360 buck hammer real quiet. And this is not subsonic. This is full power, 2,400 feet per second in this loading. So here we go. Let's see where it's at here. Do my best to hold dead center on that target here and see where we hit. We should be on paper. There went that spent one. This rest works good with the lever action because it has that slot in between the two bars. This is my Caldwell Lead Sled DFT2. Let's see where the scope's at here. Do my best. All right, we hit the almost very bottom of the paper. So our left and right is still pretty perfect. My guess there at 10 yards got us on paper, but it's definitely off. So let me adjust this. It's down, so I need to come up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the cap off. We should be roughly dead on bullseye now. Hold dead center on the same target after that adjustment. Let's see where we're at here. Now I'm up and left. I'm gonna send one more. One thing about my other 360 buck hammer with the wood stock, after 3 or 4 rounds, it didn't want to group. So this one, I'm only gonna send 3 at a time before I let it cool. But I'm gonna send another with that same hold and see if I hit that same spot, and then we'll adjust it from there. But we're getting closer here. So that one was closer to the bullseye. I'm gonna go ahead and let it cool, but before I do anything else, I'm gonna adjust it to the average of those 2 there on the top. So I'm gonna come down just a smidge, maybe an inch, a little more. So 4 clicks or so down, and it's wanting to hit right an inch, inch and a half. So let's go ahead and go, or it's hitting left, so we need to go right about 4 clicks or so. I'm gonna leave it 5 minutes or so, however long it takes to cool it off. Then I'll be right back and we'll do a couple groups with it. Be back in a few. Woo! All right, now I went and did some chores. So this is definitely room temperature chilled now. Let's see what happens. Let's do a group of 3, see what happens. Working on a good little group here. That one I felt the rest I kicked out to the side. That's going to be about a 2-inch group. Now, was that me? I don't know, but we're going to let it cool again and do another group. Alright, so we're definitely cooled off again. I let it completely cool. How did we do on that last group? So I'm going to click it one more left. The average up and down is probably where we want it. Left, 1 click. But that last one jumped on me and that made that group. Man, that's going to be over a 2-inch group. We want smaller than 2, so let's do another group here. This time I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 groups without letting it cool. That way I'll know if heat matters on this one. More data, more better. Here we go. Let's do the bottom right target. Try to do everything the same here. Punching bullseye. Shade right. And that punched the same hole. So now I'm going to bring it about 1.5 inches right now. There's 6 clicks to bring it back left. And I said I was going to go ahead and do another group on the warm barrel, so let me load 3 more. And there's 3 touching. All right, so real quick, I've just measured those groups, so check it out. I kind of dirtied up this target a little bit. I know better, but I took a couple cracks just for point of impact verification. But this was my first hit, and then up here was sighting it in some. And down here was my first group. Right out of the gate, didn't look too great. That one in the middle is not an actual. Oh no, that one's not an actual. My group I labeled there. I actually had to go back and watch the footage. 1, 2, 3. That was my group there. 2.43 inch group. This one was one of my No, that one. That was one of my testing point of impacts holding right here. And so was that one over there. And so was that one over there. But my group of 3 here, 2.43 inches. Kind of scary out of the gate. Then my next one I did right here was 1.45. That's where we're getting into the realm of, I'd say, acceptable groups at 100 yards for a lever action. And then immediately after that, this was the one where I didn't let it cool, a 0.75 inch group while it had a hot barrel, which doesn't help you when you're hunting because you're gonna have that cold bore with your first one. But that's what happened at the range today. I sent a little over half a box, and then afterwards I aimed here, hit there, I aimed here, hit almost dead on, and then aimed there, you know, hit right there. But first rip out of the gate, and again, the average of those 4.3 is right at 1.5 inches. Again, I'd call that respectable, or about what you'd expect out of lever action precision. But stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing a bunch more testing. I checked my inventory. I've got 4 different types, 4 different factory loadings of the 360 buck hammer that I'm gonna be doing more testing of. But that was my first trip to the range, y'all. First time I got my hands on the brand new Remington Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun. I'm gonna be doing my best to get my hands on the factory loadings of this and all those cartridges I said, see if I can remember. 4570, 444 MArlin, 3030, 35 Remington, and also the 32 Winchester, which is really cool too. I need to do more 32 Winchester. I need to take a deer with that one too. But 360 buck hammer, Remington Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun. Pretty cool stuff. Now I know how my Henry Model X likes it. 100-yard groups. Comment down below if you want to see me take a deer, and I'll make sure that the 360 buck hammer stays on the list for this year, taking a whitetail. But hey, appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for clicking the video. Make sure you're subscribed. I got tons of videos I'm working on, having new content every single day. Appreciate y'all watching so much. We'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think. I didn't show you guys up close, did I? Is that box? Before I leave, let me show you one of these up close. So, it's a Core-Lokt Tipped lever gun. The tip of it is flat, but it's tipped. And it's safe to use in lever guns, and it's a straight wall. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Hooty hoo!
If you like playing bullets,